This is 4.1 and 4.2, solving equations using addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So the first thing is that we have equivalent equations, and that is where equations have the same solutions. So if they have the same answer, they are equivalent. And properties of equality can be used to produce equivalent equations. So we have properties of equality for each operation that we have, and they say that if you do the same operation on each side of an equation, then you will still have something that is equal. So if you add the same number on each side, we know that if we start with 5 equals 5, that is true, and we add the same number on each side, we get 8 equals 8, that is also true. So if we start with something true, do the same operation on each side, it stays true or stays equal. So you can see that is true for subtraction, multiplication, and division. Each of these will equal the same numbers. When we are solving equations, we are going to use properties of equality and inverse operations. That means opposites, so adding and subtracting our inverses, multiplying and dividing our inverses to solve equations. That means we are going to isolate the variable. Get the variable by itself. X equals a number or y equals a number, whatever variable you have. So if we are solving x minus 8 equals 20, then I need to get this variable by itself. Right now it has a subtract 8, and the opposite of subtracting 8 is adding 8, and so if I add 8 to each side, I get x equals 28. And then we use the addition property of equality because the opposite of negative 8 is positive 8. And that makes negative 8 plus 8 is 0, which makes this go away, leaving just an x on the left side. If I have y plus 1/3 equals 5/3, the opposite of adding 1/3 is subtracting 1/3. So using the subtraction property of equality, 5 minus 1 is 4, and they have common denominators, so we get y equals 4/3. Here we have x over 9 equals 5, and the opposite of dividing by 9, which is what we have right here, the opposite of dividing by 9 is multiplying by 9, and 5 times 9 is 45. And the opposite of, we have 24 times 8y, or equals 8y. The opposite of multiplying by 8 is dividing by 8, and 24 divided by 8 is 3. Now, we can check all of these answers by taking our answer and plugging it into the original. And we would say, does 8 times 3 make 24? And if we say yes, it does, then we know that this is our answer. So we have a few examples to go through to see these properties a little bit more. So if I have x plus 9 equals 17, then I would subtract 9 on each side to get x equals 8. If we have y equals, or y minus 12 equals 30, the opposite of subtracting 12 is adding 12 to get y equals 42. And then here we have 10z equals 23. Divide each side by 10, and we get z equals 2.3. Remember that dividing by 10 just moves the decimal once to the left. If I have 2/3 k equals 6, the opposite of multiplying by 2/3 is dividing by 2/3, and to divide by a fraction, we need to multiply by the reciprocal. That gives 18 over 2, which reduces to 9. 12x equals 48. If there's no operation in between, it means multiplying, so we need to divide by 12 on each side to get x equals 4. A few more here. X over 4 equals 15, so we need to multiply by 4 on each side to get x equals 60. Negative 2/5 x equals 8. Again, to divide by a fraction, multiply by the reciprocal, and the negative is in front of this coefficient, so it stays with the number that we do on each side to get x equals negative 20. And then we have Negative 1/4 x equals negative 7, so multiply each side by 4. You could write this as 4 over 1 to have the reciprocal here, and we'll get our answer of positive 28 because a negative times a negative is a positive. Alright, it says the temperature at midnight is 42 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature decreases 3.2 degrees each hour. When will the temperature be 22 degrees Fahrenheit? So to solve this, we would find the overall change in temperature is equal to the hourly change in temperature multiplied by the number of hours. So if we get negative 20, because 22 minus 42 is negative 20, and it decreases by 3.2 degrees each hour, each means multiply, then I need to divide by negative 3.2 to get the variable all by itself here, and 20 divided by 3.2 is 6.25 hours. But we don't talk about hours with decimals like that, so this would be 6 hours and 15 minutes after midnight is when the temperature is 22 degrees Fahrenheit.